Good morning, YouTube. So this will be a very cut down talk this morning as I get into the conversation around servant leadership. Um, in this series of suicide prevention, I'm kind of working backwards to give people understandings and teachings around not specifically how we prevent uh, suicide on the first instance, but we're going right back so we don't get to that point and we know that, like yesterday's talk, we know we can use the power of emotional relearning to redraft and rethink about how we think about different situations. So, the beauty of learning servant leadership is the idea that you can be more powerful in your own life and your emotions, and your dopamine fix will increase, so your happiness level increases when we serve others. And that's really, there's so many different theories around this, but servant leadership is everyone's got their own definition. I would argue that I personally wake up every day and I try to serve as many people for my content as possible. I'm a teacher by trade. That's what I do, but I now do it online um, for all my videos. So being a servant leader is extremely powerful because it works on a two-way relationship. So when we're serving others or when we're doing something that's worthwhile work, doesn't always mean we're giving money to charities, stuff like that. But deeply within our emotions, we have a sense of purpose. And we know reference point quite a lot of data that certainly people, when they get to that point, they choose to end their life, they don't feel they have a purpose. So this part of this curriculum to build and maintain better mental well-being for all of us is really useful in terms of servant leadership. I was recording a video this morning on the beach, and I was saying to myself in reflection or on the video why it's such a shame that servant leadership doesn't get taught in schools. We have maths and English, history, geography, business studies, and they're all great subjects, but we don't have around early principles of leadership and serving others, as well as emotional intelligence and mental well-being. And I think that's a shame. And we're a long way off any new curriculum is being delivered. Being a former teacher, I mean, it's an incredible difficult job. It's rewarding, but there is a lot of planning we have to do, and there's a lot of tick boxes depending on the qualifications that we teach because we're driving students to push them so far that their own stress and anxiety is high, as well as ours as teachers, because we're pushing them in the direction of you must pass your GCSE, otherwise your life is this is really bad. And that is a culture we have a lot in schools and colleges and universities around the world. Why is it that somebody that wakes up and finishes their education really wants to go to Harvard University? Is it a status, or is it because they provide good education? I would argue that everybody has the power to innovate and be creative in themselves so they can serve others. Okay, so it is about mindset, I think, not particularly the growth mindset, but what I'm trying to teach to people is that we need to adjust situations, and to help decrease global depression rates and lower suicide rates, we need more education around mental well-being, emotional intelligence, but particularly servant leadership, because that teaches us that self-interest can have its positive ideas, but when you step into the ring of serving others through what your job is, you want to do, your business, or the way about you go about life, and servant leadership can be for yourself as well. So that's kind of self leadership, creating a curriculum around serving others at scale, or even communities or one to ones. It's very powerful for your mental well being. And there isn't I don't think there's a lot of data out there on this, but I know it's proven science that when we not necessarily set more goals, but when we practice servant leadership, it lifts up. Okay, there's a reason why every day I put fresh content online. it's not for monetary gains. Only say around, I've just like to monetize around 10% of my content. So that's not a lot. But my main reason is being a former teacher, and when I learn things, I learn a lot a day. I make mistakes every day. I do it because I want to serve my community here on LinkedIn and other platforms to help people. And I think that's a great part of being a teacher, is that that never really leaves us, because we want to serve people and help them with their life journey, whether that's their mental well-being, science subject. But it is such a shame that learning servant leadership isn't isn't really in schools. Um, it'll be decades before anything like that happens. I know that we don't move fast enough with our education reforms. I know a lot of head teachers are really distraught about finances, and we're blessed in the UK. We've got a pretty good education system, and I know that teachers want, at the end of the day, teacher for the money. I don't teach anymore per se because I have medical conditions. Say that serving others with your knowledge and helping them in their journey, and providing just 30-second video is really fruitful. And if you do it continuously, and if you can build a business around it, that's fantastic. And I would argue that it's servant leadership. So to relate that all to suicide prevention, it's again, it's about providing purpose in life, and we all struggle with that at some stage in different stages. And we wake up sometimes and we say to ourselves, "I don't like the world. I've had enough." Or and we've all sometimes all go through the thoughts of, "What if I wasn't here?" And obviously, we know that we get worried as professionals when people start life. Those end in their lives a lot sooner through stress and anxiety and not finding purpose. So this is really related, and it can help a lot of people save lives by the importance that they have and the skills that they have. Learning servant leadership principles and practices at the early stages of life. Now, when you try to re-educate people, it's more tough because depending on your education system, some of us are not fortunate to have gone to university or feel that like it's too much for us. And it doesn't mean that if you're the smartest person in the world. Not how learning really works. Self-development is so powerful. So, but the idea is that if it gets taught at the early ages, then not all you that person has a profound look on maturity in serving others, which could save a life, will save a life, because we all struggle with our mental well-being, or what you want to call mental health. And it's really, really important that we understand our purpose as early as we can, and our minds change every day. Okay, we don't always, 1 year, 2 years working in a company. I didn't like that industry. Why didn't you like it? Because I didn't feel my purpose. I didn't think it was my calling. And there is a relationship there between people sadly ending their life and finding purpose. So I'll close off and say this: finding your purpose in your whole life changes like this in different stages. And what we know so far is that the idea around serving others is a great mindset to have. However, we need to be careful, safeguard our own lives, don't work too hard, take breaks, relax, meditate, eat well, sleep well. But we're here to I would argue, um, to serve others, and through that process, we will achieve happiness. But remembering that happiness is not 24/7, it can change. And I think that's a much more better outlook on personal development. So I'll end the conversation now. I wanted to do something different this morning. I'll keep building up on this series and doing these live talks. The data is telling me that you prefer, or some audiences prefer, these more in-depth emotional talks. So I hope you have a great day, everybody, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye for now.